Hello everyone. I was not planning on doing a live. This may not be a super long one. It'll most likely be about a 45-minute one, but I thought I'd come on because I've got a bit of time and I've just come on in the perfect way because Darren Bravo just absolutely smashed 101 meter 6 off, I think it's hasaranga actually, my boy Winindu, who by the way bowled unbelievably well, or batted unbelievably well anyways. 80 not out for him. So let me put that little red inker on his score because that will help his average. That's for sure. No, Sandakan. It's Sandakan to Darren Bravo, and that was such a good hit. His head is down whilst he's hitting it, great elevation, and I don't know, he seems like someone who has the ability to naturally hit sixes, which not many people have nowadays. Obviously, I say not nowadays, but naturally. When I mean naturally, I mean not slogs, but talking about proper, proper shots. And Darren Bravo's got that, especially down the ground. He looks very, very strong. I mean, 101 meter 6, and the hundreds up for West Indies. They're looking really, really good. I say they're looking really good. Recently, in the last couple of overs, they've looked good, but they were getting bogged down by Sandakan and also Hasaranga. The spinners, and Gunatalaki even, if I can say his name right. So yeah, I think for me, the West Indies, they've got a bit of work cut out here. It's a free hit here for Shai, hoping that's six. I think that's a big one. That's another six in this over. It's just gone over the boundary. In fact, the fielder tried to get to it, but unfortunately not able to. The boundary's a little bit in on that side as well. Good hit from Shai Hope, and he's also brought something to the game which I didn't think he had this series, which is that hitting ability as well, which is something I think he's probably worked on, especially against spinners. Hitting with the spin, he knows he's not the biggest hitter of the ball, but he has enough legs on that one. It's gone 77 meters, so not the 101 mammoth that Darren Bravo hit. And they're just showing the no ball from Sandakan previously. It was just a no ball. I like Sandakan though, left arm wrist spinner. What's not to like? As Shai Hope drives through the covers, actually on the up, but not 4 runs. Gets round for 2. 109 for 2, and this is a big over and a very good over for West Indies. Already 15 off it, so or 16 even because of the no ball as well. So very, very good stuff from West Indies here, and they need to pick up the rate because the current run rate is 4.64, and the required run rate is 6.62, 6.26 even. So yeah, they need to pick it up. Sri Lanka have done something similar to what they did in the second T20, where they slowed them down. Right, they slowed down the West Indies. Did Sri Lanka with the spinners in those middle overs, and then West Indies had to accelerate towards the end, where the run rate was over 7 at one point. Here they're getting close to that stage. The required run rate is 6.34, but this over has definitely helped because, as I said, already they've had, we're looking at 12, 14, 16 off this over already. So very, very big over so far. And Sandakan had bowled very well before this over. So luckily for him, luckily for him, the over is done. 16 runs. He won't be looking back at the over anytime soon. It's 109 for 2 off 24. Let's update the overs as well. Power play number 2. Target's 275, as you can see below. And Hasaranga with that 80 not out off about 60 odd balls. So unbelievable knock again from Hasaranga. He just looks really good. And it's the highest score ever, actually, by the way, from a Sri Lankan batsman at number 8, which is just amazing to see. He is my boy. He really is. And yeah, just such a good player. And he's been bowling pretty well as well. At one point, he was only, well, I think it was like 3. Then you can see 3 runs off 2 overs for 1 wicket. Giles says, game on, bro. Yeah, exactly. And look at this Hasaranga googles to Bravo. So bowling a lot of googlies to the left-hander from over the wicket because he doesn't want to get hit, basically. really trying to contain Darren Bravo and make sure it's not in his arc, so he can't swing to that leg side, which is it's an interesting one because I do get why leg spinners do it, and it does make a lot of sense. I do think you, to a degree, need to back yourself though as well, and you can be very dangerous as a leg spinner to a left-hander. That LBW comes into play quite a bit if you can get it, if you're accurate enough, as we've seen, for example, we've seen it with people like Chahal in the England ODI, India T20. Chahal to left-handers, he can be quite difficult to play, and the LBW comes into play there. So I think he needs to back himself a little bit. The only thing I would say, and the issue that he has, is that he's not a huge turner of the ball. So if you're not a huge turner of the ball, then that does come into play because obviously you don't have that ability to really bring it back in. But also, it's actually, to a degree, is quite a good thing because it doesn't then go into that person's arc in Darren Bravo. So yeah, he's a very good bowler though. He's definitely going through his action more, hasaranga, because I saw him in the test matches against England and he wasn't going through it like he's doing now. He was almost stopping through his action and it wasn't getting as many revs on the ball. But that wasn't a test match as well. He could have just been getting tired, but I don't think it was that. I just think it was a case of, he wasn't really going through it, and the next thing you know, he well bowled, and only 3 off the over, very very tight over from Hasaranga, 112 for 2, very good over after a very expensive over, right? After a very very expensive over, and Usher says common Windies. Hasaranga and Bandara doing great things in that first innings. Yeah, Hasaranga, my boy, Wanindu doing really well, and Bandara getting a 50 as well. So both got runs and really helped propel Sri Lanka to that 274. Nicholas Pooran looks like he's padded up and ready to come in next. I'm kind of wondering where Jason Mohammed fits into this picture because, yeah, he's already out, isn't he? Of course, because Elvin Lewis and him. But Jason Mohammed's an interesting one because he hasn't really performed with the bat, and he was the highest Super 50 scorer in their franchise ODI tournament. But he's been getting quite a few wickets even, quite a few wickets with his off spin, which isn't, I wouldn't say it's special, but I know it's pretty effective. He bowls wicket to wicket, and it's been effective as Sandakan, the wrist spinner's on. And I like Sandakan because he gives it a lot of air. He tries to get the ball to do something. The issue here is that it's not turning much on this surface here in the West Indies. It looks absolutely beautiful, by the way, in the West Indies at the moment. It just looks like, oh, hold on, as Dan Bryce slashes that one, but it just goes down to the sweeper at cover who comes forward, throws it in, just a single, bit wild from Darren Bravo, but he gets away with it. The 101 beast of a 6 from Darren Bravo, shot of the match. It was down the ground, just unbelievable. It wasn't a slog. It was pure timing. It was absolute beast of a shot, and straight as an arrow off Sandakan. Just having a look at the figures so far, Hasaranga, no surprise there, is doing very, very well. 6 overs for 21 runs and 1 wicket, economy of 3.5. And Luckmal, 5 overs for 19 runs, 1 wicket. So, yeah, Asitha Fernando came in, who actually I wanted to see. Was it Asitha or Avitha? Are they two? I think it is Asitha Fernando, who played against England, but he didn't perform too well in his first 3 overs, so he hasn't come on since. Bit disappointing for me because I thought he'd do pretty well on the ODI stuff, but to be fair, it's only his first game and it's a bit hard to just come in and perform straight away. As Shai Hope flicks that into the cow corner region, and it should be, I think, 2. No, it's 3. Good running, very good running from both of them, as both are in the 40s now. Darren Bravo even 44 of 65. Shai Hope is 49 of 60. Really, really good stuff. Really, really good stuff. It's 116 for 2 or 25.3 overs. Power play to target of 275. And Usher says, yours, a child's domestic in the instruction video was good. Well done. Charles, thanks a lot. Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much, Charles, as well, for being on. Always good to have you on. And yeah, it's doing well. It's a good chat, wasn't it, Charles? It really was. And I should say, hope another 50 coming up. Yeah, exactly. Another 50 coming up for Shai Hope. He's definitely, I think, he just looks like in phenomenal form. He really does look in phenomenal form, does Shai Hope. And Darren Bravo with the 45 or 66. It's an interesting one because he was going pretty slowly, Shai Hope, but he's managed to accelerate a little bit here, and they were struggling to rotate the strike. And I could hear commentators getting frustrated, especially Curtly Ambrose, I think it is. Yeah, was talking about it, and he was just saying, as Shai Hope brings up his 50, and he was getting slightly frustrated, I think, because Darren Bravo especially tends to want to just hit boundaries now and then and doesn't really rotate the strike. But he started to do a bit more, whereas Shai Hope wants to rotate the strike, and his kind of foundation of his game is built upon that and being busy, as Sandakan is on, and very good 50 from Shai Hope as well, 50 or 61. In the end, he's got to that 50 in pretty quick fashion. Obviously, it's not a runnable, but considering the scenario and situation, I think that's a very, very good 50 from Shai Hope, and he's just carried on his form. I mean, at least a 50 in each of the ODIs series, so fantastic form. I should say, what's the best way to face someone like hasaranga? I mean, you've got to pick him from the hand. I think he turns his googly a lot more than his leggy, actually. So I guess if that's the case, then if he's as a right-hander, you know that it's not really going to turn sharply away from you, so you can cater that in when you're playing against him. The only thing about him is he does give the ball flight, but because he comes from such a small height, when he does deliver that leggy, what it means is that the air that he gets is not as much as a normal leg spinner potentially might get if we're talking about someone who's a bit bigger, like Ish Sodhi, for example. So what that means is you've got less time, right, to use your feet to him. So he's quite difficult to use your feet to. I think you almost need to potentially play him from the crease and play him off the back foot, but then playing him off the back foot is dangerous because he has that one that skids on, because he can bowl quite skiddy as well. So I think it's very, very difficult for him, for a batsman even, to pick hasaranga, which is why he's been so successful. And the flight is there, but it's not so flighted that you have enough time to use your feet to get down the track regularly and put pressure on him. He's a very clever bowler, and he puts enough revs on the ball. He bowls quick enough, but with enough air to really deceive the batsman. So in answer to the question is, I'm not 100% sure. I need to see more of him to know exactly how. But of course, loose balls will come from every bowler, but there's a reason why I think he's only going for 3 and over in the ODIs and only went for 3, 4 and over in the T20s. And he's definitely got his confidence up as well, which is a massive help as Sitha Fernando comes back on, which is nice to see. Let's see whether he can have a better second spell. Charles says Sandakan is very talented, although I think his bowling trajectory is his weakness. Batsman can predict as Shai Hope pulls Sitha Fernando to the boundary. It's not a good start from Sitha Fernando, or a Sitha Fernando even. Come on, man. I was really rooting for him to do well here, but he's obviously not. He's struggling. It's difficult, I think, as well. He's been on tour, hasn't played a single match, and they just chuck him into the last ODI. It's difficult to come in and just perform. Not many players can do it, and I guess he doesn't have a huge amount of confidence considering they put him in the dead rubber game, haven't they? Sandakan is very talented, although I think his bowling trajectory is his weakness. Batsman can predict whether it's the stock ball or googly in the air with him. Yeah, I agree with you. I think he gives it a lot of air, which can be good, but I feel like he doesn't turn the ball enough or get enough overspin or actually put enough revs on the ball to deceive the batsman. Something he needs to work on is his deception, I think, for sure, Charles. He says, especially with a right-hand batsman, if you saw how Hope has played him even, he knows which way the ball will go by looking at where the ball will pitch. Yeah, he's quite blatant with it, isn't he? He's very, very blatant with it. Like, he'll chuck it pretty wide if he's going to bowl the googly. So he needs to work on his control, I think. And King Sadataki made me laugh, man. Satak has gone from Kohli. Satak has gone from Kohli to King Kohli, which is very, very funny. I do rate you, Satak. Guys, as well in the chat, please do remember to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help, and share it with your mates as well. The channel, if you think anyone's interested in cricket, tennis, or boxing. But yeah, I think most of you have subscribed. But if you haven't, really does help. And please do like the video again. It does help. Satak says 73 not out. Oh yeah. Satak is getting very excited. I can't say how excited I think he's getting because I'll probably have my channel taken down. But let's just say Satak may have a tissue box close. Cash says, how good is Darren Bravo? Is he better than the stats suggest? If you want my personal opinion, extremely talented, has the ability to be a very good player. Is he better than his stats suggest? His ability is but it's not like he's been unlucky. He's just been extremely inconsistent. He hasn't developed his game properly in the past few years, although he's looked better, I think, this series, but he hasn't looked a world beater. He's looking pretty good here. He's still got slight issues with rotating the strike as well, which is a big thing. Doesn't rotate the strike well enough for me still, but he has. You can tell like he's in a little bit of nick even. I remember he was going to be the next Brian Lara. Basically, he's his idol and hero, and he used to say like, you know, I want to play like him, and he had this really high backlip, which I think he shortened slightly because he's realised. A decent enter the over from Asitha Fernando. 7 from it though. After that 4 conceded at the start, which was a very good pull shot from Shai Hope. It's 125 for 2 off. Oh no, it's not the end of the over. What am I talking about? 1 ball left. Charles says that looked close, didn't it? Even Sri Lanka showed no interest. I think he might be ahead of me. Oh no, spoilers. It's 125 for 2 off 27 overs. But yeah, I'm just back onto Dan Bro very briefly. I think I don't know. I think he's coming to this point, which is a make or break moment in his career, where he either needs to adapt his game and really put. I know it sounds so stupid because I don't know him personally, but mentally, I feel like he's always just thought the way that I play or the talent I've got, I can just perform. But the issue is that he's playing as if he used to play as if it was, I don't know, the early 2000s, and the game has progressed since then. So the issue with him is that he was very limited in the way that he played. I mean, even now, 47 or 70 is not unbelievable. Yeah. And Charles says that looked close, didn't it? Even Sri Lanka showed no interest. And Charles says, no, you already saw it. Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, it's not out, that one. Wasn't out, Charles. I think that's why they just showed no interest because, I don't know, just too. See, that's a bit better from Sandakan, a bit straighter, but you're right, Charles, because that's so straight that he knows it's going to be the stock ball. So unless he has a slider that he can employ, which I haven't really seen from him, then it's difficult because you're right. Like they'll know it's just going to turn away from me, or he's going to be try and bowl that one for me. Let's see. He chucks the one. Okay, so that one actually was chucked a bit wider, and it was a stock delivery, but I think that was just bad control. But the one chucked out wide normally is quite airy, and it's chucked out wide. His googly needs a lot of work, I think. You know who I wanted to see, and we haven't seen since the first game because he just didn't perform, was Kamindu Mendes, who obviously is the bowler, ambidextrous bowler, left arm and right arm spinner even. Sorry, not sinner. That's really harsh for me to say that, isn't it? He's not a sinner, he's a spinner. The right arm and left arm off spinner, even. Kamindu Mendes. Tatak says, no one is going to take a channel down. You're a humble host. Thank you very much, Tatak. I humbly accept your humble host tag. I'm glad you make a cheeky comment here and there. I'm a cheeky chap. Tatak. All good fun though, isn't it? It's just sports. It's just cricket. Everyone can have a good laugh. Everyone's entitled to an opinion, aren't they? But just remember, you're all entitled to an opinion, but my opinion is always right. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. And Charles says Sandakan looks like Punam Yadav. If you don't know who he is, check her out. Check her out. So you're saying that Sandakan looks like a woman, Charles? Is that what you're trying to say? Because if so, that's I don't know how he would feel about that comparison, unless she's very good looking. Charles, let me know. Let me know if you meant her, because that's quite funny if you did. Oh, I like that from Sandakan though. Got hit for 13 runs. Now we've got a maiden over from him. Just full of surprises, isn't he? Keeps you on your toes, this Sandakan, really does. And so Tark says, yeah, I agree. He says, hi, Joel, you were really good on yesterday's stream. The trial was good. And if you really liked that from a trial, then like the channel. I can't seriously do it. No, but please do like the channel and subscribe. It really does help. And for anyone watching as well and listening, if you do have any cricket experiences, so obviously a child has played with some top players that are playing now, right? If you have those types of experiences, obviously real experiences, we're not talking about experiences in your dreams where you dreamed about playing with Sachin Tendulkar. I'm talking about, you you used to shadow bat and pretend that you were at the MCG, right? And you just smashed Brett Lee over his head for 6. I'm talking about, real experiences. And do get into contact with me because yeah, I mean, I've got my email, which again I'll put here again. If anyone does want to reach out, feel free to do so, and we can try and sort something out. If I feel like it's relevant, I think most cricket stuff I'm happy with. Then please do feel free to reach out, and we can try and get it sorted. I'm happy to do it because it's just nice to sit down with subscribers. My fans. No, you're not my fans, really. I'm not a famous celebrity. You guys are my friends. No, let's just say you're my subscribers, my community. This is just a cricket community, really, isn't it? Well, on this channel anyway, and this stream, it's a cricket community. We may have some people who are also part of the boxing and tennis community, but I think majority of you guys are part of the cricket community. As it's 129 for 2, and Darren Bravo is 47 of 76. Shai Hope is 59 of 66. As I said, the dude is a beast. He's scored a 50 or more in each of the 3 ODI so far, so the dude is in phenomenal touch. As a Sitha Fernando. Why do I keep on saying Avitha? Is there a different guy called Avitha Fernando? Let's have a look. It's just kind of interesting. No, there isn't. I'm wrong. It's a Sitha Fernando. There's not actually a single person apparently on this earth called Avitha Fernando, which is pretty sad. Achar says she's a top Indian wicket taker. I think Sandakan would be happy to have her bowling figures. Pace yourself, lads. Oh, Achal. Cheeky, Achal. Achal says, thanks a lot, Sartak. Yeah, thank you. I'll leave this comment out. That's quite funny, actually. Funny indeed. It's 129 for 2. And Darren Bravo is on 47 off 77. Shai Hope 59 off 66 as... Oh, I like that. I like that bit of aggression from Asitha Fernando. Not Avitha, because Avitha doesn't exist. Asitha Fernando bowling a nice bumper there. Just letting Darren Bravo know he's there. See, now Darren Bravo has now trundled to 47 or 78 and he's eating up deliveries here. This is what I mean about him. It's why it can be frustrating. Shai Hope, they're both going pretty slowly. In fact, Darren Bravo was going at a quicker rate than Shai Hope because Shai Hope was going so slowly. He realised that, look, I've got my eye in now. I'm in nick. Right, I need to start going. So whether that is hitting the boundary or trying to rotate the strike, and he's tried to do that. Darren Bravo just said, no. I'm just going to sit here and play exactly the same way, exactly the same pace. He needs to develop the gears, Darren Bravo. And how old is he? Let's have a look. How old is Darren Bravo, actually? Because I think I'm going to guess he's 29. But let's have a look. He is 31. Oh, man. Thinking about him from 2 years ago. Quick Frost 2.0 says hope for another 100. Yeah, maybe. What do you need? You need another 41. They need, yeah. I mean, if you bat till the end, he definitely will get 100, won't he? I wouldn't be surprised he's batting that well. He says Bravo's stuck in his usual rut. Yeah, which is where he gets stuck, right? He gets stuck in this mode of, and the issue with him is that he actually puts pressure on himself by not rotating the strike. He just thinks, I just want to play these amazing strokes, right? Where I just hit fours, hit sixes, and then I'm not really going to rotate the strike because why bother? Why bother, right? I'm good enough. I can play like I'm a player from the 2000s because I'm Brian Lara. But you're not Brian Lara. And you're not nowhere near as good as Brian Lara was. And it's not just that, but cricket has developed, and 40 out of 79 is just not good enough, and he probably thinks it is. But yeah, that's what I would say. 92 from 118 balls is the partnership, and that's thanks to Shai Hope, who's got 60 off 67 in that partnership, which is the difference, right? It really. Hey, Hope needs to finish the game, forget his century. Easier said than done. If he finishes the game, he'll get the century. But yeah, I agree with you. As Shai Hope just drives that down the ground. To be fair, though, Char, they've got a lot of batting to come. And they need to step up, I think, the middle order as well. So Pooran, for example, he averages over 40 in ODIs. I think his form in the last 2 years. By the way, I was looking at the charts for batsmen from I think it's 2018 onwards. The last 2 or 3 years, it might have been 2019 and 2018. Either way, last 2 or 3 years, it had the averages and runs. So Shai Hope has scored the most runs, and his average is unbelievable. It's like 60 plus or something. But then you have someone like who was it? Who was it that really surprised me? Oh, Nicholas Pooran. Obviously, his average is over 40, but he averaged over like 57, I think, right? Which is really impressive, which I wasn't expecting. And there's someone else, Haris Sahel, who's been dropped from the Pakistan squad. He averages over 50, I think, in the last 3 years. And I was like, what? He's been dropped. I was like, oh, man. So Tark says, don't forget me when you get 1 million subscribers. Yeah, don't worry, I definitely won't, Satak. I'm not that guy. I won't forget you. I won't forget you. You guys are my. I don't think you guys are my day ones, are you? But day 100s, maybe? Day 50s? Day 10s? No, I'm just joking. But no, of course not. Of course not. I'll always be that guy, even if I have like 1 million people in the live. What will be kind of annoying, which I hope is not annoying actually, is when you have so many people in a chat. Well, to be fair, I've had like 200 people in the chat before, which was I was really grateful for. It was actually for a live stream for the PSL, I think it was. I had 200 people in the chat, and I managed to like sort it, which was great. But it was amazing to have that many people in there. But I went through every single comment, unless it was like a duplicate comment, like someone was like, "What's the score?" and then I just said the score. I wasn't going to go through what's the score again, but yeah, like I try and get through all the comments because yeah, I find it annoying if I go on another channel and I comment and then it doesn't come up. And I understand that people, when they've got 20,000 subscribers, 50,000, 100,000, that is tough. But like, you're on there for a reason, right? So, or I guess you can do something different. Your live streams end up becoming, you either do live streams that you might say, oh, actually, okay, I'll answer questions, but you do a live Q&A, which I'd like to do, which is more just an open discussion based on whatever sport you're talking about. And then you do that, which would be really good, which I'd like to do. But I don't think I'm big enough to be able to do that yet. But one day, fingers crossed, God willing. It's 137 for 2 off 30 overs. Let's update the scorecard. And just looking at Darren Bravo's ODI career, I think it sums it up. So his strike rate is 70, which is quite poor. It's just 70. Average 31, which is solid. That's okay. It's not terrible. It's just he's got 3,000 runs, 111 innings. I don't know, just not impressed by him. And it says, I've been telling him that too about forgetting you, not me. It says, Haris Sahel is injured, right? Okay, fine. If he's injured, then fair enough. And Crick Frost, I hope he doesn't forget either one of us. Don't worry, I won't forget anyone. Dial says, hi, don't worry. You guys don't have anything to worry about. Says that Dial says, hi, Fazan. Hello, Dial. Thank you very much for joining. Guys in the chat, please remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And don't comment because you can comment on here. And also share the vids with anyone that you think might be interested. Thank you very much. Charles says exactly. He needs to be a match winner, not just a run getter. That's why we have the Coley Smith Williamson Root League. I want him to break into the exclusive club by the end of this year. Are you talking about Shai Hope? I'm assuming, Achal, right? Because if it's Darren Bravo, no way. But I'm assuming you're saying Shai Hope. The thing with Shai Hope is that unfortunately, I don't think he's potentially a good enough T20 player. Where, although to be fair, Root doesn't play T20s anymore, so he has to do very well in the Test matches, which Shai Hope has the ability to do. So if he does very well in Test matches and ODIs, he's going to shout as Darren Bravo top edges that for 4. Very jammy, very jammy. Says, I told you that hasaranga will be the next big thing for Sri Lanka in the previous Watchalong. I agree with you. Dayal, he is the next big thing. I agree with you. We are on the same page, and I'll tell you why, because Winindu is my boy. And if anyone is thinking who's Winindu, come on, guys, is Hasaranga's first name. We're on a first name basis. I tagged him on Instagram. He probably will never see it. He probably will never reply. Doesn't matter because I tagged him. And guess what I said? If anyone doesn't follow me on Instagram, I shared a picture of him getting 80 in the first innings, and I put there's 80 or 60 balls, by the way, and it was the highest score by any Sri Lankan batsman at number 8 ever. So I tagged him and said, "My boy," and then I Hasaranga, and I tagged him on Instagram, on my Instagram story. He will never reply. Doesn't matter because even if he just sees it, it'll be worth it. He'll probably just be like, "Who's this weirdo?" That's what probably will happen. The Inshallah money will be big enough soon. Yeah, inshallah, hopefully. Congrats on India's win, says Quick Frost 2.0. Yeah, that was a very good win. Very impressive win from India. Just thanks, I should buy Hope. Yeah, so if it's Hope, then yeah, ODIs and T20s 100%. That's really interesting. The comparison after 30 overs is very, very interesting. Oh, very good pull shot, 2 deep mid wicket. Dale says, is Shai Hope the best batsman in the West Indies lineup in ODI cricket? Yep, 100%. Yeah, I'll just say yes. I think he is. I think Nicholas Pooran's a close second potentially, but I would say Shai Hope. Hetmai's very talented. Pollard's good as well. We know that, but I think in ODIs, Shai Hope is the best. I would say. Trust you'll give me serious VCPE vibes. What's VCPE? I don't know what that is. Let me know what that is, Achal. How much for a stake in your to be million sub channel? I don't want to be like the guy who paid Bitcoin's worth $300 million for a pizza. Oh man, I don't know. If I'm ever big enough, then I will potentially do something like that. But yeah, what's VCPE? And let me have a look at that. Hold on. Good old Google. Oh, okay, very good. Private equity versus venture capital. There is no accounting talk on the channel. Okay, no, it's banned, absolutely banned, and I'll tell you why. Because even though everyone knows that I'm an accountant, it's just boring. I just find it boring, and this is why I do the channel, to get me away from the reality that is accounting. It's 144 for 2, and of 30.4 overs. Oh, yeah. Quick Frosty One says Hope has 10 centuries in ODIs, and if he gets another today, he will be in the top 7 century getters for Windies. Yeah. Charles says venture capital / private equity. Yeah, yeah. Dial says Darren Bravo's strike rotation skill is not up to the mark. It's not. I agree with you, Dial, 100%. I was saying that. I had a massive rant about it just now. His rotation is really, really poor. It's just a fact, unfortunately, and that's why his strike rate is so low. He thinks he's batting in the 90s or 2000s. Like, you can't go at 60, 70 strike rate anymore in ODI cricket unless you go at it for a little bit of time and then you accelerate towards the end. But he doesn't seem to do that, as he does, to be fair, just pull a Sitha Fernando for 4. But it's just, I don't know, it's just so frustrating. Like, how can he be so talented? It's like, there's so many players that I see who have got unbelievable talent in the cricket game, but they're just not quite fulfilling, and he's one of them. And what really frustrates me, and it's funny because I was talking to all the professional cricketers that I've interviewed, plugging myself, by the way. Anyone hasn't checked, please do have a look at my cricket interviews playlist. Yeah, do have a look at it. It's really useful. Useful? It's very insightful, actually, because you don't have to listen to me talking. You can actually talk to a lot. What am I talking about? Not talk. You can listen and watch a bunch of professional cricketers talk about, you know, how it is to be a professional cricketer, what they do in the off season, who they played against. You know, I've talked to people that have hit hundreds against Australia. Daniel Drummond, who's the Kent opener, he plays with Zach Crawley, right? So he talked to him about Zach Crawley. I talked to Sean Dixon, who's a Durham opener. He's really good friends with Aidan Markram. Talked to me about him. I talked to Ahmed Asif from Peshawar Zalmi, the PSL side as well. Won the PSL last year with Karachi Kings, and yeah, they were all saying that mentally, cricket is about 70 to 90%. So there was a difference of about 20%. So we're talking about at least 70% of cricket is mental. So if that's the case, then what, 30% maximum is skill. So what that tells me is that there's probably an abundance of people with the skill level to play professional cricket, but there's only a very small percentage of people that actually have the mental capability and the mental know-how. And I talk about this a lot, the cricket IQ, right, to actually develop the game. And the mental side doesn't just mean cricket IQ, it means the mental side being able to take the pressure of the game as well, because cricket is very mentally challenging. So it's just a lot of mental there's a lot of mental stuff involved in cricket, and that's why you see people citing mental issues as well. And there's not a lot of sports that are so mentally challenging as cricket. If I'm being perfectly honest with you, because it's such a brutal game. As Shai Hope, oh no, hits it straight to the man at long on. No 100 for Shai Hope. That's a big wicket. That's a huge wicket for Sri Lanka. I'll tell you that right now. That's a big wicket. And it's Asara Pereira who, to be honest, I completely have absolutely slated him throughout the whole West Indies tour, but he gets a vital wicket here. Oh, Kirosio says, isn't this your job? No, you know it's not. Happy Mother's Day, Fazan. Thank you, I guess. And Darren Bravo and Dinesh Chandimal and Umar Akmal, unfulfilled batting talent. Chandimal's been pretty good in Test cricket. He's got a lot. Yeah, I think he's still got time, hasn't he, in Test cricket? Darren Bravo and Umar Akmal 100%. I saw Umar Akmal do a this. Oh my god, just annoying. It's a TikTok, I think, and they showed it on Instagram, and it's with some Pakistani music in the background, and I was like, he doesn't even try to be fit. And the reason why he's not in the Pakistan squad or wasn't and has been out for so long is because he kept on failing fitness tests and also mentality as well. But that comes into it, attitude, right? Look at Hetmeyer; he's got overweight as well, and I've got a really bad feeling that Hetmeyer might be another Umar Akmal, where he broke into the scene when he was like 18, 19 years old, scored amazing runs, amazing talent, scoring runs domestically, but not fit enough, not really dedicated enough to the game, to like a flash in the pan, right? And he's someone who's just going to be super inconsistent. You can't have that. Like, you need to devote your life to the game. And I talk to boxers, and they say that you have to, like, even more so in boxing, right? Because it's a lifestyle. But with cricket, you don't even need to commit as much as that. But the best players, the elite players, do. Look at Cody's work ethic. Look at Steve Smith's work ethic. Like they say that Steve Smith shadow bats like 24/7 when he's at home. He just thinks cricket constantly, absolutely constantly. But let's see. I think it's tough as well. It's not easy, so I don't want to be too harsh on these players, but it's just the cruel reality of the game to be a professional cricketer. And I think only a small percentage of people are cut out for it, I think. Charles says, why is Dan Bravo doing a bad job? He's playing well for the situation of the game. Trying to bat through the 54 over should be his target. So my issue with him is, yeah, and Charlie, you said it here, is he should try to rotate the strike a bit more. Oh my God, they've got Simon Hughes on BT. What is happening? No. Please don't do this to me. I hate Simon Hughes. He's terrible. He really is terrible. Anyways. Ross 2.0 is cricket IQ is right. Yeah. Hope gone bad shot. It was a bad shot. Unneeded, really. Didn't need to play it. No, Charles says, I agree with you, Fazan. Cricket. Cricket's a thinking game. If I'm honest about myself, I had the skills to play, but not the cricket IQ. I worked on the IQ part after giving up professional sport. Yeah, there we go. There you go, Charles. Well summed up, though. And thank you for sharing your experience. Cricket Ross 2.0 says, I think it's a perfect comparison. Hetmai and Umar. Yeah. I thought Pant would go into the shell too, but very impressed with Pant over the last 3 months. Yeah, Pant has come back. I mean, he's very young as well, but again, yeah, it could have been a similar situation because when you come onto the international scene, it's the international scene even. It's a lot to take on to just suddenly have that pressure on you, and especially if you score runs and there's an expectation like, oh, you're going to be the next big thing. You're going to be a wonder kid, right? And I think I talked to Dayal and Mansahad from Cricket Fan Corner, and Dayal, obviously, you guys have seen him on, and they were saying, look, Rishabh Pant, when he first came onto the scene, he was 19, and if he dropped a catch, the Indian crowd would chant Dhoni, 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 right? Like basically saying, we don't want you here. So imagine like feeling that. That's just shocking. So for him to come back, I think he showed very good mental fortitude. And to come back as well in the test arena, which is probably the most challenging format to really performing, considering he's got such an aggressive edge to his game. He's developed a level of maturity, and I think probably worked on his cricket IQ has Rishabh Pant. So he's been very, very impressive for me. Charles says, Cricket Frost 2.0 says, a child, do you think having played on such a high level helped you speak about cricket? Child, you can answer that, but I'm assuming yes is the answer to that. But what I would say is that it's difficult. I think I find it difficult to talk about sports sometimes that I don't play. So I play cricket, I play tennis at club level. Boxing, I mean, I have a pretty decent understanding. I do boxing circuits. Obviously, I've never sparred or I've never gone in fight. So I do a lot more. I have to really look into that. And I had to start from a very basic level and listen to a lot of experts about the technical side of it. Whereas, look at Nicholas Poran's average. I'm wrong. It's not 40, it's 50.89. Whoa. Only 25 innings there. That's probably why. But damn good. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, so I think with cricket it's a bit different because I've done coaching and I've got that kind of knowledge. But even then, like at the elite level, there's still you can always learn. I think you have to have that attitude to always want to learn. If you always want to learn, you'll continually pick up things, and people want to listen, right? And people want to actually take on what you're saying. You've got to be flexible, I think, is the biggest thing as well. And like I'm happy to admit, like for example, today, Charles Tarko, I thought he was going to be rubbish. I said I don't think he's really a T20 player, performed really well. Hands up, I got it wrong. But then on the other hand, Tom Curran got absolutely slapped, and I said he'd get slapped, and guess what? He did. So I'm like, yeah, I feel great about myself because I was right. But it just is what it is. Everyone's got different opinions, and sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong, and just go with the flow. It's 149 for 3 of 32 overs, guys. I probably will have to go potentially soon. Charles says, I didn't play on a high level, to be honest, but yes, it's very hard to have physical as well as mental assertion simultaneously. Most sports in the world need only one of it at a given time. Okay, I need to go, guys. Apologies. In fact, I will be gone for about... I'm just going to go. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Please remember to like this video and subscribe and comment, all that good stuff. You know what it is. But yeah, thank you, everyone, for joining. I may be on later. If not, thank you very much.